Hey guys, welcome to this interesting session on Salesforce integration tutorial. Like always, let us start the session by knowing what are the topics we're going to cover today. So we'll start the session with a brief introduction to Salesforce, then understand what exactly is Salesforce integration. Moving on, we will talk about the layers and the types of Salesforce integration. Then we'll take a look at the things to consider before starting a Salesforce integration project and learn what are the advantages of Salesforce integration. Finally, we will conclude the session with a hands-on where we will integrate Salesforce with external applications. Now moving on to our first topic, what is Salesforce? Now this will just be a brief introduction to Salesforce for people who are new to Salesforce. Salesforce is a cloud-based software company which provides customer relationship management service. Now customer relationship management means a strategy or a technique which businesses or organization uses to administer its interaction with its customer. It allows organization to manage the customer relationship and interaction through a single tool, which provides them a better customer experience and also improves business outcomes. So initially, Salesforce started as a software as a service CRM company, but now it provides various software solutions and a platform for users and developers to develop and distribute custom softwares. It offers variety of products for companies such as the Salesforce Sales Cloud, the Marketing Cloud, the Service Cloud, Community Cloud, Analytic Cloud, App Cloud, and a few other more services. Now, each of the services has its own functionalities and can be used by different teams in a company. Like the sales team can use the Sales Cloud, the support team can use the Service Cloud, and so on. Now, this was just a brief introduction about Salesforce and the services it offers. Now, let us move on to a main topic for today and understand what exactly is Salesforce integration. Salesforce integration is connecting Salesforce.com with other third-party external system and applications like Facebook, LinkedIn, Gmail, Outlook, and other external websites. It allows you to establish and manage communication between Salesforce CRM and other systems with the help of APIs which are used to interpret the messages that these systems exchange. So explaining this in simple words, Salesforce integration is just connecting your Salesforce to any other tools you need to run your business. Now what this helps with is, it sets up an appropriate Salesforce integration which enables adequate access to the third-party application. So you can use the features or functionalities of those applications with Salesforce. It can be helpful in analysis of data and also support the managers and directors who are basically the decision makers to make the right and powerful decision at each stages of decision making. So integrating Salesforce with other tools can be very helpful in enhancing productivity and also bring significant improvement, which all leads to the success of running your business. So I guess you have some fair idea about what exactly is Salesforce integration. Now let us understand what are the layers of Salesforce integration. The first layer is the user interface layer. Now user interface integration means I can integrate the third-party applications like Facebook, LinkedIn, Gmail, Outlook with Salesforce. The user interface layer mainly focuses on user interactions with the system. In this layer, you identify the components to integrate third-party web application into Salesforce. What this means is you can combine the user interface from multiple systems, such as displaying Salesforce user interface in any third-party application. Just to give an example, look at the diagram here. You can see Salesforce is integrated with Outlook over here. So you can view the Salesforce user interface in Outlook. The next layer is the business logic layer. The business logic layer lets you interact with the data and build which were on the user interface layer. Business logic integration helps extend the business logic which is present in Force.com with the outside platform. Now outside platform are nothing but your third-party application. In the case of inbound logic integration, it is handled using Apex Web Services. Now Apex Web Services allows us to write logic and expose it as web service with a third-party application. It gives us flexibility in adding custom logic before modifying the Force.com standard or custom object data. But for business logic layer, it requires knowledge of Apex programming language for writing the Apex classes that exposes its web services so it can be invoked by the client applications. So the steps involved in business logic layer integration is first creating a global class. This global class is accessible across all Apex script and not just to the source Salesforce application. This basically forms like a container for everything else. Your next step is creating an inner Apex class in that global class. This inner Apex class contains the actual request message of the Web Service Description Language or WSDL. which basically includes the variables that need to be accessed by the third-party application. The third step is connecting an Apex method that is exposed as a web service. This would include defining data mapping of the inner class variable to the Salesforce object and field. It also contains any logic that needs to be implemented and the operation to be executed, like insert, delete, something like that. The final step is generating the web service description language from the part setup, app setup, develop, Apex class, and then sharing it with the client or the third-party application. So these were the steps involved in integration in the business logic layer. This layer usually handles all the scenarios where business logic is spread across several applications to implement the complete end-to-end business process. Now moving on to a third Salesforce integration layer, which is data integration. This data layer is a connection with the user interface layer and the business process layer. It helps in maintaining the consistency in application data between multiple integrated systems that needs to be in synchronization. So one way to achieve real-time synchronization of data between systems is using SOAP APIs, among all the other options. SOAP APIs lets you create, retrieve, update, or delete records such as accounts, leads, and custom objects. With more than 20 different calls, SOAP APIs also allows you to maintain passwords, perform searches, and many more functionalities. You can also use REST APIs. Now, REST APIs provides a powerful, convenient, and a simple REST-based web service interface for interacting with Salesforce. Its advantages include ease of integration and development, and it's an excellent choice of technology for the use with mobile application and web projects. So these were the Salesforce integration layers. Now let us move on to the next topic and see what are the types of Salesforce integration. Salesforce is a very versatile and powerful tool that offers a number of ways to integrate data. So there are different solutions which the companies can choose from based on their requirements. Some of the prominent types of Salesforce integration are single platform integration, custom code integration, batch integration, real-time integration, and real-time mashups. Let us discuss about each of them in details now. So the first one is single platform integration. So single platform integration is one of the best Salesforce integration options. So basically Salesforce provides App Exchange, where users will find many native Salesforce solutions, which means the solutions are built on the platform. Through App Exchange, Salesforce.com offers a variety of pre-built integrations and applications from partner companies. The advantage of this type of integration is it might reduce the amount of time and also the financial resources needed for hand coding. They're also called as native integration as they're naturally designed to share data within the ecosystem. This is the easiest, most effective, and least expensive option because data sharing is much more streamlined and reliable. So when we compare single platform integration to outside integration, single platform integration requires only 1/3 of the work to efficiently relay data. The next type of Salesforce integration is a custom code integration. Now, custom code integration, as the name suggests, are developed for unique solutions and requirements. So for this, developers must create custom connectors using Salesforce APIs and hand-coded solution to synchronize data between Salesforce.com and the third-party application. This can be done using the Force.com platform, which allows developers to build new application and then integrate Salesforce.com with the existing one using the platform's APIs. But this type of integration has a few drawbacks. The first one is they're costly to develop and they must also be maintained carefully when Salesforce or the third-party application is being updated. The third type of integration is batch integration. Now, batch integration is probably the most common Salesforce integration. This integration relies on data updates based on hourly, weekly, or monthly basis. It all depends on how quickly the data must be transferred. Batch integration is usually suitable for data that changes infrequently but is also generated in a greater quantity. It is the easiest method to implement and it is also an excellent solution for processing flat files. The next type of Salesforce integration is real-time integration. Now, real-time integration is less challenging and generally efficient at handling errors and control queues. It is similar to batching, which means it can take place in seconds or be delayed for several minutes or even occur in any point in between. The method is normally used when data integration needs to happen very quickly. However, like other integration, data is constantly traveling back and forth between Salesforce.com and the third-party application. All this data have to travel between systems and can cause delays or even dysfunction could happen. So the next type of Salesforce integration is real-time mashups. Real-time mashups requires building a user interface in Visualforce. Now Visualforce is a framework provided by Salesforce for creating customized user interfaces. These integrations are known for being able to access and share data efficiently from external system or the third-party applications. Like the traditional HTML-based web app, custom branding, callouts to retrieve data from external system and complex flows are all possible using real-time mashups. It is frequently used when immediate access to data residing outside of Salesforce is needed, such as retrieving multiple documents from several external systems. So these were some of the prominent types of Salesforce integration. So now I guess you have some idea about the types of Salesforce integration. So let us move on to our next topic and see what are the things you should consider or keep in mind before starting a Salesforce integration project. So the first point you need to keep in mind is the identification of the integration type. It could be real-time or batch integration. Real-time integration is a procedure of recording the data immediately as soon as it is created or updated. On the other hand, batch integration is the process of collecting data at a regular interval and not instantly. The next point you should consider is reviewing the API limits. The API limits shouldn't exceed 15,000 API calls per day. It is important because it helps in maintaining the optimal performance of your project. The third point is knowing about all the information which is needed to move data between systems. You need to have prior knowledge about the requirements and the steps to perform for integrating Salesforce with a third-party application. The fourth point is assuring authentication of the system that you're going to integrate with Salesforce. Next, you should reconsider design if you're using Apex to solve middleware issues. So in Salesforce, code-based integration occurs using Apex programming language, which comes with a powerful set of features that allows organization to create custom APIs and third-party APIs for some additional data. So with such additional features, many people try to use it as a middleware rather than an integration tool. So it can turn out to be a very serious issue as Apex is not designed for handling complex middleware applications. So you need to keep this point in mind. The next point is creation of custom APIs to call third-party APIs for additional data. Next, you need to understand when to move data to Salesforce. This is because allocation of data capacity comes with several licenses, and it is strongly recommended to get access to capacity planning and archival strategies before you move your data to Salesforce. The next things you should consider before a Salesforce integration project is you should know about the configuration options and also have understanding of performing integration on enterprise and unlimited data. So these were a few things you need to keep in mind before you start a Salesforce integration project. So with this said, let us move on to the next topic and see what are the advantages of Salesforce integration. Now, integrating Salesforce with different applications have their own benefits. Like integrating Salesforce with Gmail has its own set of benefits, then integrating Salesforce with Outlook has its own set of benefits, and so on. So in this topic, I'll just talk about some of the general benefits of integrating Salesforce with external systems. The first benefit is it offers all-in-one access. As I mentioned before, Salesforce can be integrated with various other third-party applications. So the users can access the functionalities of both Salesforce and the third-party application. They won't have to switch between systems to get what they need. They can stay logged into one system and get everything done over there itself. The next benefit is it increases the productivity. So sometimes job requires a lot of copying data to ensure it appears in all the systems. However, manually copying and pasting this task can sometimes lead to mistakes, and it can also take away most of your valuable time. But you can integrate systems to have automated checks and balance to ensure they have the same information. So the time spent in duplicating data will reduce, and you can spend those time in being more productive. The next advantage of Salesforce integration is it provides enhanced communication. So in a company, there is a possibility of one department being more comfortable with Salesforce while the other one preferring to work with a different system. Now integrating the two systems allows each team to work in different systems they prefer while streamlining communication, which leads to more information being shared. Moving on to the fourth advantage of Salesforce integration is it automates workflows without any code. Salesforce integration will be beneficial since it automates many workflows for your organization. What this means is some tasks that are repetitive and require absolutely no human being to handle this can be automated using Salesforce integration. For this, sometimes you don't even have to code, you can just integrate your required application from Salesforce App Exchange. The fifth advantage of Salesforce integration is it can help you make better decisions. Better decision making is not possible when the data exists in paths. So Salesforce integration offers a complete view of the data, and that results in improved decision making based on a proper understanding of risk and the benefits. Salesforce integration offers streamlined data flow and relevant reports to improve your decision making with critical insights on customer data, which will help you make better decisions and take the best actions. So these were some of the advantages of Salesforce integration. Now let us move on to a final topic for today, which is the demo part. So we're going to see two demos today. The first one is how to integrate Salesforce with Outlook, and the next one is how to integrate Salesforce with Workbench. Now Workbench is a powerful web-based suite of tools which is designed to interact with Salesforce.com organization via the Force.com APIs. We're going to use REST APIs in order to integrate Salesforce with Workbench. So first let us search for Microsoft Office. Next, select all apps from here. It will be at the bottom. Now you have an option here called as add-ins. So click on that. Now this will direct you to a web page where there will be a lot of add-ins. So now you can just search for Salesforce over here, or you can just scroll down until you find Salesforce. You will usually find it under the popular Microsoft 365 column. So we have Salesforce over here. So we'll just click on Salesforce. So you can see Outlook over here, which means we can integrate Salesforce with Outlook. You can scroll down and read about Outlook's integration with Salesforce. Now this is a very simple approach. There is no need for any software to be installed or pushed or maintained. Here are some of the benefits of integrating Salesforce with Outlook. You can view all the contacts, leads, account, opportunities and cases which are basically present in Salesforce. You can view all of them in Outlook. You can use the functionalities of Outlook and Salesforce at one place. Now what would that do? It would increase the productivity. You can search and browse Salesforce record inside Outlook. You can create new Salesforce record including custom object records directly in Outlook. You can add emails and appointment to Salesforce record in one click, even when it is composing emails. And there are so many benefits of integrating Salesforce with Outlook. Once you've read through all this, you can just click on Get It Now. Now before this, you will get a dialog box which will ask you to enter your Microsoft username and password. Then after you've entered your username and password, you will get a form like this. Here you have to enter your name, your work email ID, your job title, the company you work for, the country or region you're present in, and your phone number. Now after you give all the details, just accept the condition and click on Continue. It will take some time for this to happen. Next, it will direct you to this web page where you'll have an add button over here. Just go ahead and click on the add button. Next, it will show you some instruction on how to get started with Salesforce. Where all can we use Salesforce with Outlook? So we'll close this. Now you can see Salesforce is added. So we'll close this. Now click on this new message. Go to Options. Here you will find Salesforce. It will either be present here or here. So we'll just click on this. Next, it will ask you to select the environment. So ask this production environment. So we'll just select that and click on Login to Salesforce. Next, we'll allow it, which will redirect us to a Salesforce login page. So we'll select the account. Now as I was logged in, it did not ask me for password, but usually it would ask you for the username and the password. Next it says connect your Salesforce account name to your Microsoft email account of Outlook. After the connection is established, you're automatically logged in into Outlook integration from now on. So click on Confirm and just wait for some time for Salesforce to be integrated with Outlook. You see, it is so simple to integrate Salesforce with Outlook. Now a sales representative can perform all the functionalities of Salesforce and Outlook at one platform. They don't have to switch between Salesforce and Outlook. They can perform all these functionalities at one place in Outlook. So now let us move on to a second demo where we'll see how to integrate Salesforce with Workbench using REST APIs. So in this demo, we'll see how Salesforce record has been displayed in Workbench. So for that, let me sign in into my Salesforce account. Click on Login. Now if you're wondering why do I have two usernames, it is because one account is in the Professional Edition and the other one is in the Developer Edition. I want you to know that you cannot create Apex classes in the professional edition. So I'm going to log in into my Salesforce developer edition. Now, if you're new to Salesforce and you haven't created your account, let me go back. Just click on try for free and then enter all your details over here and then click on start my free trial. But as I have my account, so let me just log in. So for this demo, I want to display all the account details in Workbench application. But before that, let us see what are the values present in our account. So we'll just go to accounts, select all accounts. Now you can see there are a few account details over here. Some of the fields we have is account name, account site, which is empty, the billing state and province, the phone number, the account type, and the account owner. So I guess I have somewhere around 14 demo accounts. Now I can also decide what are the fields or how many account records I want to display in Workbench. So to execute the code, let us first go to setup, search for Apex over here, select Apex classes, and create a new Apex class. So first step is we need to set REST resources and set a URL mapping. So for that, @REST resource URL mapping is equal to single quotes /. You can name this anything. So let me just name it accounts /* and then close the bracket. Next, what was the first step in the business logic layer integration? It was creating a global class, which basically acts as a container for the code. So now let us create a global class. Global class. You can name it anything you want. Let's just name the class as view account. Next, in order to extract account details from Salesforce, we need to use the HTTP GET method. So @HTTP GET. We're using HTTP GET method in order to extract the account details which is present in Salesforce. Now, after we've extracted the account details from Salesforce, I want it to be viewed in the form of a list. So for that, global static list account get account. Next, creating an instance list account LST. LST is equal to select. Now here you can select what all fields you want it to be displayed. Like there were username, there were phone number, there were the state, province, and the type. So I'm just going to select name, phone number, and the type for that account. So I'll type in name, phone, type from accounts. Next, we're going to return the list. Then click on save. So I missed the semicolon over there. So I just added it and clicked on save again. Now open a new tab and search for Workbench. The environment will be production itself, but you need to find your API version. So for that, go back to Salesforce, search for API over here. Open this in a new tab. So you have an option here to generate enterprise WSDL. So click on that. Now this will generate a file which tells you which API version you have. You can see our API version is 52.0. So we'll select 52, agree for the terms of service, and click on login with Salesforce. It'll ask you for the username and password. Here I'll select my username. Now under jump to, click on REST Explorer and click select. Now here you see you have an option of choose an HTTP method to perform on the REST API service URI. And there are 6 methods over here. The GET method is used to retrieve information about record or object. The POST method is used to create a new object. The PUT and PATCH method is used to update a record. Next, delete is used to delete a record. And head is used to retrieve objects or records metadata. So as we have used HTTP GET method, we'll just select GET over here. Instead of data and version 52, we will type apex rest slash what was the URL mapping accounts. So we need to copy this and paste it over here. And then click on execute. You can see all our 14 account records are displayed in Workbench. So when you select this, you can see the name, phone number, and the type. If you want, you can make any number of changes. You can make sure only the name of the record is visible, or you can make sure only the first 10 or the last 10 records are displayed. You can make many changes according to your convenience. So this was just a small demo to show you how you can integrate Salesforce with other applications using APIs. And with this, we have come to the end of this session. I hope it was helpful. Do comment your thoughts in the comment section below. Happy learning.